Captain Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge of Terra's Hope and watched the stars shift around them. The ship moved through space like a metal fish swimming through an ocean of darkness. Her crew had been exploring the outer edges of human space for 3 months now. They were looking for new worlds that humans could use for mining or farming. Lisa was 35 years old and had been flying ships since she was 20. She had short brown hair and green eyes that missed nothing. The other humans respected her because she was smart and brave. She never asked her crew to do anything she would not do herself. Dr. Amy Carter walked up to Lisa with a worried look on her face. Amy was the science officer on the ship. She was younger than Lisa with long red hair and blue eyes. Amy was very good at understanding alien technology and energy patterns. "Captain, we are picking up something strange," Amy said. She held a tablet computer in her hands. "There is a gate activation happening near the Centauri system." Lisa looked at the tablet screen. She could see energy readings that showed a massive space gate turning on. The gates were ancient alien technology that let ships travel between star systems in seconds instead of years. The gates had been built by aliens thousands of years ago. Now the Galactic Council controlled all of them. "That is odd," Lisa said. "The Council has not told us about any gate activations in that area." Amy pointed to red markings on the screen. "Captain, this gate has crimson markings. Those are the forbidden gates. The Council says they lead to dead zones where nothing can live." Lisa felt her heart beat faster. The Council had very strict rules about the Crimson Gates. They said the gates led to areas of space where terrible things had happened long ago. The Council said anyone who went through those gates would die, from radiation or alien diseases. "How far away are we?" Lisa asked. 2 hours if we push the engines," Amy replied. Lisa thought for a moment. Humans had been part of the Galactic Council for 50 years, but they were always treated like children. The Council only let humans use 12 gates, and those gates only led to empty worlds where humans could dig for metals or grow food. The Council never let humans explore or discover anything important. "Set course for the gate," Lisa ordered. The ship turned and moved toward the Centauri system. As they got closer, Amy's instruments showed more details about the gate. It was huge, made of some kind of dark metal that glowed with red light. The gate was spinning slowly in space like a giant wheel. "Captain, I am detecting something else," Amy said. Her voice sounded excited. "There are energy signatures coming through the gate. It looks like there might be civilizations on the other side." Before Lisa could respond, new ships appeared on their sensors. 3 large vessels were moving toward them fast. Lisa recognized the design immediately. They were council ships. "Incoming message," said Lieutenant Karen Hughes from the communications station. Karen was a young woman with black hair who had joined the crew 6 months ago. "Put it on screen," Lisa ordered. The main screen showed an elegant alien woman with pointed ears and silver hair. Her skin was pale, and her eyes were a strange purple color. Lisa knew she was looking at an elf from the Etherian homeworld. Behind the elf stood another alien with blue skin and 4 arms. This was a Zathari warrior. "Human vessel, this is Counselor Silara Nightwind of the Etherian Council," the elf said. Her voice was cold and commanding. "You are ordered to leave this area immediately." Lisa stepped forward. "Counselor Nightwind, I am Captain Lisa Morgan. We detected an unauthorized gate activation and came to investigate." "The gate you have discovered is forbidden to all species," Silara replied. "Ancient laws prevent anyone from using crimson gates. They lead only to death and destruction." The blue-skinned alien moved closer to the camera. "I am Commander Vexaria of the Zathari fleet," she said. Her voice was deep and threatening. "Captain Morgan, you will turn your ship around now." Lisa looked at Amy, who was still studying her readings. Amy shook her head slightly, indicating that her sensors showed something different from what the Council was claiming. "With respect, Counselor," Lisa said, "our sensors show active civilizations. Beyond that gate, perhaps the old information about these areas is wrong." Silara's purple eyes grew angry. "Humans do not have the right to question Council law. You have been warned. Leave now." The communication ended and the screen went dark. Lisa watched as the Council ships moved into position around the gate. She could see weapons charging on their hulls. "Captain, they are preparing to destroy the gate," Karen reported. Lisa made a decision that would change everything. All hands, prepare for emergency gate transit. Amy, can we make it through before they fire? Amy's fingers flew over her controls. Yes, but barely. We need to go now. Do it, Lisa ordered. Tara's Hope shot forward toward the spinning crimson gate. Behind them, the council ships opened fire, but they were too late. Lisa's ship entered the gate just as the energy beams reached the portal. The world exploded into red light and strange sounds. Lisa felt like her body was being pulled apart and put back together. The ship shook and groaned around them. Then suddenly, everything went quiet. They were through. They had become the first humans to ever disobey the council and enter a forbidden gate. Lisa looked at the screen and saw something amazing. Instead of a dead system, there were planets covered in green forests and blue oceans. Cities glowed on the night sides of the worlds. Ships moved between the planets like busy insects. Captain, Amy said with wonder in her voice, we are not in a dead zone. This system is full of life. Lisa smiled. The council had been lying to them. The forbidden gates did not lead to death. They led to freedom. And now humanity had taken its first step into a much larger universe than anyone had imagined. Lisa stared at the view screen in amazement. The system beyond the Crimson Gate was nothing like what the council had told them. 3 planets orbited a yellow star, and all of them showed signs of advanced civilizations. Cities sparkled like jewels on the surfaces of the worlds. Ships moved between the planets in organized patterns that showed intelligent control. Captain, we are being scanned, Karen reported from her station. Multiple ships are approaching our position. Amy looked up from her science console. The energy signatures are incredible. These civilizations are more advanced than anything the Council has shown us. A new ship appeared on their sensors. It was sleek and beautiful, made of some kind of white metal that seemed to glow with its own light. The ship was smaller than Tara's Hope, but moved with grace and speed that human technology could not match. Incoming communication, Karen announced. Put it through, Lisa ordered. The screen showed a woman who looked almost human except for her pointed ears and golden eyes. Her hair was long and silver, and she wore clothes that seemed to be made of light itself. But unlike Counselor Nightwind, this elf had kind eyes and a warm smile. Human vessel, welcome to the Free Territories, the woman said. I am Kira Sunweaver. We have been waiting a long time for your people to find us. Lisa was confused. Waiting for us? How did you know we would come? Kira's smile grew wider. Because humans are the only species in the galaxy that the Council truly fears. Please follow my ship to Sanctuary Station. There is much you need to learn. Lisa decided to trust this strange elf. Tara's Hope followed Kira's ship toward the largest planet in the system. As they got closer, Lisa could see that the planet was covered in forests and oceans, with cities that looked like they had grown rather than been built. Sanctuary Station hung in orbit above the planet. It was massive, bigger than any human space station. Ships from dozens of different species docked at the station. Lisa saw designs she had never imagined before. As Tara's Hope docked, Lisa felt nervous and excited. She was about to learn things that might change humanity forever. She brought Amy and Karen with her to meet with Kira. The inside of the station was beautiful. Plants grew along the walls, and water flowed in streams through the corridors. The air smelled fresh and clean. Aliens of many different species walked through the halls together peacefully. Kira led them to a large room with windows that looked out at the stars. Other beings were waiting for them. Lisa saw creatures with fur and claws, others with scales and multiple eyes, and some that looked like living crystals. Captain Morgan, Kira said, welcome to the truth that the Council has hidden from your species. Kira gestured to the beings around them. Everyone you see here was exiled from Council space. We were sent to these dead zones because we refused to follow Council rules. The Council does not control dangerous areas. They control us. An alien that looked like a giant cat with purple fur stepped forward. I am Commander Thack of the Corvan, engineers. My people were exiled because we created technology that the Council said was too dangerous. Really, it was just better than their technology. A creature made of living rock spoke next. I am Elder Stoneheart of the Thrakari clans. We were banished because we would not stop our warrior traditions. The Council fears any species that knows how to fight. Lisa looked around the room. How many species are here? 47 different. Races live in the free territories, Kira answered. All of us were told we were too dangerous, too advanced, or too independent for council space. Amy stepped forward with excitement. But why are humans special? What makes the council fear us? Kira smiled and led them to a computer terminal. Dr. Carter, please place your hand on this scanner. Amy put her hand on the device. Immediately, lights began flashing all over the terminal. The machine made happy beeping sounds, and holographic displays showed complex patterns in the air. What is happening? Amy asked. You are interfacing with our gate technology, Kira explained. Human brains have a unique neural pattern that connects perfectly with the ancient gate systems. No other species can do this. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. What does that mean? It means humans can not only use the gates, Kira said, but you can also create new ones. You can open pathways to anywhere in the galaxy. The Council has known this since they first met your species. Commander Thak's purple fur bristled with anger. The Council did not invite humans to join them out of kindness. They wanted to study your brains and steal your gate abilities. Meanwhile, back in Council space, Solara Nightwind sat in her private quarters aboard her ship. She was reading classified files that few beings in the galaxy had ever seen. The more she read, the more disturbed she became. The files contained the real history of the Council. They showed how species after species had been exiled or destroyed when they became too independent. The files also contained something called Project Human Solution. Solara's hands shook as she read the details. The Council planned to eliminate all humans once they had learned how to copy human neural patterns. They were already working on a biological weapon designed to target human brain chemistry. In another part of the ship, Commander Vexaria was having her own moment of doubt. She had intercepted communications between Council leaders. They spoke of humans like they were insects to be studied and then destroyed. Vexaria had always believed the Council worked for the good of all species. Now, she was learning the truth. Back on Sanctuary Station, Lisa was learning more about human abilities. Amy was working with Corvin engineers to understand how human brains connected with gate technology. The results were amazing. Captain, Amy said with excitement, according to these tests, humans do not just interface with gates. We can actually communicate with them. The gates are not just machines. They are alive, and they have been waiting for someone who could talk to them. Kira nodded. The gates were built by an ancient race that disappeared long ago. They created the gates to be partners, not slaves. But every species that has tried to use them has only been able to force them to work. Humans are the first species that the gates actually want to help. Lisa understood now why the Council feared humanity so much. Humans could break their control over galactic travel. With human help, all the exiled species could return to their home worlds. The Council's power would crumble. What do we do now? Lisa asked. Now, Kira said, we prepare for war. The Council will not let humans live once they realize what you can do. But with your help, we can open every restricted gate in the galaxy. We can free every species that has been trapped or exiled. Lisa looked out at the stars through the station windows. She thought about Earth and all the humans who had no idea what was coming. The Council had made a mistake when they let humans discover the truth. Now humanity would have to choose between freedom and safety, but Lisa already knew what choice humans would make. They would choose freedom, just like they always had, and this time, they would not fight alone. 3 weeks after arriving in the free territories, Lisa watched as her life changed completely. Terra's Hope had become the center of the biggest alliance in galactic history. Representatives from 47 different species worked together. On Sanctuary Station, all united by one goal, breaking the Council's control over the galaxy. Amy spent her days working with alien scientists in laboratories that looked like something from a dream. The Corvin engineers taught her how to build portable gate generators. These devices were small enough to fit on a spaceship but powerful enough to create temporary pathways between star systems. Captain, you need to see this, Amy called from the main laboratory. Lisa walked over to where Amy stood next to a device the size of a briefcase. It hummed quietly and glowed with soft blue light. Around Amy, alien engineers from 6 different species worked on similar devices. This is the first human-designed portable gate, Amy explained. With your neural patterns guiding the process, we can create temporary gates anywhere we need them. No more being trapped by council restrictions. Commander Thack padded over on his 4 legs. His purple fur was streaked with gray from age, but his golden eyes were bright with excitement. Captain Morgan, your Dr. Carter has achieved something we thought impossible. These portable gates will change everything. Lisa picked up the device. It felt warm in her hands, almost alive. How many can we build? We have materials for 50 units, Thack replied. With these, your ships can appear anywhere in the galaxy. Without warning, the Council's advantage in controlling fixed gates becomes meaningless. Across the station, other species were preparing for war in their own ways. The Thrakari warriors, who looked like living rocks with glowing crystal eyes, were sharing their combat knowledge with human officers. Their leader, Elder Stoneheart, had taken a special interest in human fighting techniques. Your people are young but fierce, Stoneheart told Lisa during a training session. You fight with creativity that we have not seen in thousands of years. The Council thinks humans are weak because you are new to space. They are very wrong. But the most important development was happening in Council space. Solara Nightwind had made a decision that would cost her everything she had ever known. She sat in her quarters, preparing to send a message that would make her a traitor to her own people. She activated her personal communicator and sent an encrypted signal toward the Free Territories. Captain Morgan, this is Solara Nightwind. I have information that humanity needs to survive. The Council plans to launch Operation Final Solution in 30 days. They will use biological weapons to eliminate all humans in the galaxy. The message included detailed files about Council military positions, biological weapon research, and the locations of secret facilities. Solara knew that sending this information meant she could never return to her old life. Commander Vexaria was making her own plans. She had gathered a group of Zathari officers who were also disgusted by the Council's true nature. In secret meetings, they planned how to sabotage Council ships from within. The Council has forgotten what we once stood for, Vexaria told her fellow conspirators. We joined them to bring peace to the galaxy. Instead, we have become oppressors. It is time to remember our honor. Meanwhile, Lisa was dealing with the challenge of organizing dozens of different species into a working alliance. Each race had their own customs, languages, and ways of fighting. Some breathed oxygen like humans, while others needed different gases to survive. Some were warriors, others were engineers, and some were traders who had never fought a battle. The key is not to make everyone the same, Kira advised during one of their planning sessions. The key is to let everyone contribute what they do best. Lisa nodded. She was learning to be a diplomat as well as a military commander. The Corvin engineers build our technology. The Thrakari warriors train our fighters. The Silvani merchants provide supplies and information about Council trade routes. And the humans? Kira asked with a smile. Humans do what we have always done, Lisa replied. We adapt. We find ways to make impossible things work. We bring people together. The alliance grew stronger every day. Ships from the Free Territories began appearing in neutral systems, carrying the message of freedom to species that were still under Council control. Many worlds that had been forced to join the Council began to reconsider their loyalty, Amy's. Portable gates proved their worth when a Council patrol discovered one of their recruiting missions. The human ship Brave Explorer was surrounded by 6 Council vessels, with no hope of escape. Then Amy's device activated, opening a gateway directly to safety. The Council ships could only watch as their target vanished. News of the escape spread quickly through both Council and Free Territory space. The Council realized that their enemies now had technology that made traditional space warfare obsolete. Lisa's forces could appear anywhere, strike quickly, and disappear before reinforcements arrived. Silara's intelligence proved crucial when she revealed the location of the Council's central biological weapons facility. It was hidden in a dead system that only Council leaders knew about. The facility was where they were creating the weapon designed to kill all humans. We have to destroy it, Lisa declared during a War Council meeting. If that weapon is completed, every human in the galaxy will die. The facility is heavily defended, warned a captain from the Draconi Republic, a species of intelligent reptiles who had joined the Alliance. My scouts report at least 50 Council ships guarding the system. Elder Stoneheart leaned forward, his crystal eyes glowing brighter. Let them guard it. With portable gates, we do not need to fight through their defenses. We can appear inside their perimeter. Amy had been working on a new idea that excited her more than anything she had ever done. Captain, what if we do not just destroy the facility? What if we capture it and turn their own weapon against them? You want to use biological weapons? Lisa asked, concerned. Not to kill, Amy explained quickly, but to change. The weapon targets human neural patterns. If we modify it, we might be able to enhance the gate interface abilities of other species. Imagine if everyone could communicate with the gates like humans do. The idea was brilliant and terrifying. If it worked, the Council's monopoly on gate travel would end forever. Every species in the galaxy would have the freedom to travel wherever they wanted. But first, they had to capture the facility. Lisa began planning the most daring raid in galactic history. Using portable gates, her fleet would appear directly inside the Council's most secure system. They would have only minutes to accomplish their mission before Council reinforcements arrived. As preparations continued, Celera made her final decision. She stole a fast Council ship and escaped toward free territory space. Behind her, alarms screamed as the Council discovered her betrayal. She was now in exile like all the others, but she was free. Vexaria activated her own plan at the same time. Her conspirators disabled the engines and weapons of 12 Council ships, claiming the damage was caused by human sabotage. The Council leaders believed the lie, not suspecting that their own people were turning against them. Lisa stood on the bridge of Terra's Hope, looking out at the largest fleet the Free Territories had ever assembled. Ships from dozens of species surrounded her vessel, all ready to fight for freedom. In a few hours, they would either win the war or lose everything. All ships report ready, Karen announced from her station. Amy looked up from her portable gate. Controls. Portal generators are charged and ready, Captain. Lisa took a deep breath. Signal the fleet. Today we stop running from the Council. Today we take the fight to them. The Council's attack came at dawn, Galactic Standard Time. Across 12 different star systems, massive Council fleets emerged from the Great Gates simultaneously. Each fleet carried enough firepower to destroy entire planets. The Council leaders believed they were launching the final battle that would crush human resistance forever. Admiral Zorek of the Etherian High Command stood on the bridge of his flagship Eternal Dominion and watched his battle plans unfold. Today, we end the human threat once and for all, he announced to his officers. These primitive creatures have caused enough chaos. But Admiral Zorek had made the same mistake that powerful beings throughout history had made. He had underestimated human creativity and the loyalty that humans could inspire in others. Lisa watched the Council attacks from the command center on Sanctuary Station. Holographic displays showed Council fleets moving toward free territory worlds. The enemy had more ships and bigger weapons, but Lisa was not worried. Phase 1 begins now, Lisa ordered. Across the free territories, Amy's portable gate generators activated. Suddenly, Council fleets that thought they were attacking helpless colonies found themselves surrounded by defenders who appeared from nowhere. Human ships materialized above, below, and behind the enemy formations. The Battle of Corvin Prime showed how completely warfare had changed. Admiral Zorek's second-in-command, Admiral Zenthos, led a fleet of 30 ships to destroy the Corvin engineering world. His ships approached the planet in a perfect formation, ready to begin orbital bombardment. Target the industrial centers, Admiral Zenthos commanded. Destroy their ability to build weapons. But before his ships could fire, something impossible happened. Enemy vessels began appearing inside his formation, not approaching from a distance, but simply materializing in empty space. Human ships, Thrakari warships, and vessels from a dozen other species suddenly surrounded the Council fleet. How is this possible? Admiral Zenthos demanded. His science officer stared at his instruments in confusion. Sir, they are using some kind of instant transportation technology. Our sensors detect massive energy discharges consistent with gate activation, but there are no gates in this system. The Free Territory ships attacked from every direction at once. Council vessels that were designed to fight enemies coming from one direction found themselves overwhelmed by attacks from above, below, and all sides. Within minutes, half of Admiral Zenthos's fleet was destroyed or disabled. The same scene repeated across the galaxy. Council commanders who had expected easy victories instead found themselves fighting for their lives against enemies who could appear and disappear at will. On Sanctuary Station, Kira led a different kind of mission. While the fleets battled in space, she took a team of volunteers through portable gates to infiltrate the Council's central gate control facility on Etheria Prime. Kira knew every corridor and security system in the ancient facility. She had worked there for over 200 years before being exiled for questioning Council policies. Now she returned with human hackers and alien saboteurs to turn the Council's own weapons against them. "The main control room is through here," Kira whispered as her team moved through darkened hallways. The facility was supposed to be impregnable, but portable gates made walls meaningless. Amy had taught Kira's human companions how to interface with elvish technology using human neural patterns. When they reached the control center, the combination of Kira's knowledge and human abilities proved unstoppable. "I am in," announced Beth Williams, one of Amy's students. Her hands moved over the alien controls as her mind connected with the ancient gate systems. "I can see the entire network." "Open every restricted gate," Kira ordered. "Let the exiled peoples return home." Across the galaxy, gates that had been sealed for centuries suddenly activated. Species that had been trapped in dead systems for generations found pathways home opening before them. Worlds that had declared independence from the Council could suddenly connect with each other. The Council's rigid control began collapsing as previously isolated systems joined the growing rebellion. Admiral Zorek watched his command screens in horror as red warning lights indicated gate activations throughout his territory. "Sir, we are losing control of the gate network," his communications officer reported. "Unauthorized activations in 47 systems and counting." But the Council had one final card to play. Deep in Council space, Solara had provided intelligence about their most desperate plan. If they could not control the galaxy, they would make sure no one else could either. Supreme Chancellor Valdris, the eldest and most powerful member of the Council, gave the order that would either save their empire or destroy everything. Activate the final protocol. Prepare to destroy the Central Gate Hub. The Central Gate Hub was the heart of the entire Galactic Gate network. It was an ancient structure that had been built by the same mysterious race that created all the gates. If the hub was destroyed, every gate in the galaxy would stop working. Interstellar travel would become impossible, trapping every species in their home systems. Vexaria intercepted the order while pretending to still be loyal to the Council. She immediately sent a coded message to Lisa, warning about the plan. "They would rather rule over a scattered galaxy than lose control," her message said. Lisa felt cold fear when she read Vexaria's warning. "If they destroy the hub, billions of beings will be trapped forever. Families will be separated. Trade will collapse. Entire civilizations will be cut off from each other." Amy looked up from her calculations. "Captain, the hub is not just a control center. According to the ancient records, it is the mother consciousness of all the gates. If it dies, the gates do not just stop working. They become dead metal." "How long do we have?" Lisa asked. "The Council fleet is already moving toward the hub system," Karen reported. "At maximum speed, they will arrive in 6 hours." Lisa made the decision that would determine the fate of galactic civilization. "Signal all available ships. We are going to the hub." Within minutes, the largest fleet in Free Territory history began moving through a series of portable gates. Ships from dozens of species leapfrogged across the galaxy in jumps that should have taken months but happened in hours. The race was on. If the Council reached the hub first, they would destroy it and plunge the galaxy into a new dark age. If Lisa's forces could get there in time, they might be able to save not just the gate network, but the ancient consciousness that had been its guardian for thousands of years. As Terra's hope emerged from its final portal jump, Lisa saw the hub. Systems spread out before them. The Central Gate Hub hung in space like a massive flower made of metal and light. It was beautiful and ancient, clearly built by beings far more advanced than any current galactic civilization. But surrounding the hub was the largest Council fleet ever assembled. Over 300 ships formed a protective barrier around their target. At the center of the formation, Lisa could see the doomsday weapons that would destroy the hub and end galactic civilization as they knew it. All ships, prepare for the final battle, Lisa commanded. Today we fight not just for our freedom, but for the future of every species in the galaxy. The war had reached its climax. In the next few hours, the galaxy would either enter a new age of freedom or fall into darkness that might last forever. The final battle began with the largest space combat in galactic history. 300 Council ships faced off against 200 vessels from the free territories. But numbers meant nothing when Amy's portable gates allowed the smaller force to attack from impossible angles. Lisa watched as her ships materialized throughout the Council formation like deadly ghosts. Thrakari warships appeared directly above enemy vessels and dropped devastating crystal bombs. Corvin engineering ships used their advanced shields to ram through Council lines. Human vessels coordinated the chaos with their unique ability to communicate instantly through the gate network. Admiral Zorek tried desperately to maintain formation as his fleet was torn apart from within. All ships, tighten defensive perimeter around the hub, he commanded. Do not let them reach the core. But his ships were fighting an enemy that ignored all rules of space warfare. Every time his forces moved to block an attack, new enemies appeared behind them. The Council's advantage in firepower became meaningless when they could not predict where their opponents would strike next. On Terra's Hope, Amy was making a discovery that would change everything. As she worked with her portable gate controls, she noticed something strange happening to her readings. "Captain, the hub is trying to communicate," Amy called out in excitement. "The energy patterns match human neural signatures. It wants to talk to us." Lisa felt her heart race. "Can you establish contact?" "I think so, but I need to get closer," Amy replied. "The hub consciousness is very old and very weak. The Council has been forcing it to work against its will for thousands of years." Lisa made a decision that terrified and thrilled her. "Take us directly to the hub." "Captain, that is suicide," Karen protested. "The Council has their heaviest ships guarding the core." "Then we will have to go through them," Lisa said simply. Terra's Hope shot forward toward the massive ancient structure. Council ships moved to intercept, but Amy opened portal after portal, allowing the human vessel to skip past enemy fire like a stone skipping across water. As they got closer to the hub, Amy could feel the ancient consciousness reaching out to her mind. It was like touching the thoughts of a sleeping giant who had been dreaming for millennia. "Amy, what are you sensing?" Lisa asked. "Pain," Amy whispered. "So much pain. The hub has been enslaved for thousands of years. The Council leaders have been forcing it to restrict gate travel, to keep species separated. It never wanted to build walls between civilizations." The hub was enormous up close, a structure the size of a small moon. Its surface was covered in patterns that seemed to shift and flow like living metal. As Terra's Hope approached, sections of the hull began to glow with warm light. "It recognizes us," Amy said with wonder. "It has been waiting for someone who could truly partner with it, instead of just giving it orders." Meanwhile, the space battle raged around them. Solara had arrived with a group of elvish rebels who had chosen freedom over Council authority. Her small fleet attacked the Council's rear guard, creating the distraction Lisa needed. Vexaria revealed her true loyalty when she turned her ship's weapons on Admiral Zorek's flagship. "For too long we have served masters who care nothing for honor," she announced over open communications. "Today, the Zathari choose justice." Her action inspired other aliens throughout the Council fleet. Species that had been forced to serve the Council for centuries saw a chance for freedom. Ships began switching sides or simply stopping their attacks. Admiral Zorek watched his carefully planned battle dissolve into chaos. "All remaining ships, activate the destruction sequence now," he ordered desperately. "Destroy the hub before they can capture it." The doomsday weapons began charging. Massive energy cannons that could crack planets turned toward the ancient hub. In seconds, they would fire and destroy the consciousness that had guided galactic civilization for thousands of years. Amy felt the hub's terror through their neural connection. "Lisa, it is afraid. It does not want to die." "Then we will not let it," Lisa replied. Amy closed her eyes and opened her mind completely to the hub consciousness. The connection was unlike anything she had ever experienced. She could feel the vast intelligence that lived within the ancient structure. She could sense its memories of the beings who had built it long ago. Most importantly, she could feel its desperate desire for freedom. "I understand now," Amy said. "The hub is not just a machine. It is a living being that was created to help civilizations connect with each other. The Council has been torturing it by forcing it to do the opposite." The hub's response was immediate and powerful. Instead of being a passive victim, it suddenly became an active participant in the battle. Council ships found their gate drives shutting down. Energy flowed away from their weapons into the hub itself. The doomsday cannons lost power just moments before they would have fired. "What is happening to our systems?" Admiral Zorek demanded. "The hub is fighting back," his science officer replied in amazement. "It is draining power from our ships and using it to strengthen itself." The ancient consciousness spoke through Amy to address the entire battlefield. Its voice reached every ship through their communication systems. "For 5,000 years, I have been forced to divide instead of unite," the hub said through Amy's voice. "I was created to bring civilizations together, not to keep them apart. No more. Today, the barriers fall forever." Across the galaxy, every restricted gate suddenly opened. The crimson markings that had meant forbidden territory for centuries changed to gold, signaling welcome to all species. Dead zones became free zones. Prison systems became pathways home. The Council's power structure collapsed in minutes. Without control over the gates, they could not maintain their empire. Worlds that had been forced into obedience suddenly had the freedom to choose their own destiny. Admiral Zorek's remaining ships found themselves surrounded by vessels from every species in the galaxy. Former prisoners, exiled peoples, and liberated worlds all converged on the hub system. But instead of seeking revenge, they offered something the Council had never expected: forgiveness. "Surrender your weapons and join the new galactic community," Lisa broadcast to the Council forces. "You can choose freedom for yourselves, just as you are giving it to others." Many Council ships accepted the offer. Their crews were tired of enforcing laws they had never believed in. Only the most fanatical leaders like Admiral Zorek refused to surrender. Vexaria made the final decision for them. Working with other rebel commanders, she disabled the remaining Council command ships. "The war is over," she announced. "Let healing begin." In the weeks that followed, the galaxy transformed completely. The hub consciousness, now free to fulfill its original purpose, opened pathways between civilizations that had been separated for millennia. Trade flourished. Families reunited. Knowledge and culture flowed freely between worlds. Lisa found herself appointed as the first human ambassador to the new Galactic Federation. Unlike the old Council, this organization was built on cooperation rather than control. Every species had an equal voice in decisions that affected them all. Amy became the director of the Institute for Gate Sciences, where she taught other species how to partner with gate consciousness rather than simply using the technology. Her greatest discovery was that the gates were not just transportation devices, but living beings who wanted to help civilizations grow and connect. The old restricted zones became centers of learning and exploration. Scientists from hundreds of worlds worked together to understand technologies that had been forbidden for millennia. Artists shared their cultures across species barriers. Children grew up knowing that the entire galaxy was their home. Kira established the Freedom Archives, where the true history of galactic civilization was preserved. No longer would species be taught lies about dangerous territories or forbidden knowledge. The truth was available to everyone. Silara became a teacher, helping young elves understand how her people had been corrupted by power and how they could choose a better path. Many of her students were exiled elves returning home to worlds they had never seen. Vexaria formed the Galactic Peacekeepers, an organization dedicated to protecting freedom rather than enforcing control. Former Council soldiers and Free Territory warriors worked together to ensure that no one would ever again be able to restrict the movement of entire civilizations. The hub consciousness, now called the Great Connector by most species, continued to grow and learn. Through its partnership with humans and other species, it began creating new gates that reached even further into unexplored regions of the galaxy. Captain Lisa Morgan stood on the bridge of Terra's Hope 1 year after the Great Battle. Through the view screen, she could see ships from dozens of species traveling freely through space. The gates that had once been symbols of restriction had become symbols of infinite possibility. "Where to next, Captain?" Karen asked with a smile. Lisa looked at the star charts, showing thousands of unexplored systems now accessible through the free gate network. "Wherever we have never been before," she replied. "The forbidden has become freedom, and the galaxy is waiting for us to discover what comes next." The age of walls and barriers was over. The age of infinite exploration and cooperation had begun, and it had all started with one human captain who decided that some rules were meant to be broken.